Thank you very much, sir, for the very interesting talk. Want some more? Come to SBM tomorrow, Sunday, 2 p.m. You'll hear more. Okay? I hope you know where SBM is. It's at number 9 Ruby Lane, off Opal Crescent, off Serangoon Road, opposite the fire station. There's a coffee shop there, very well known for its fish head steamboat, I think. So if you can find that steamboat, you probably find SBM. It's not connected to the steamboat. Okay. I used to say, thank God, and oh my God, actually no reference to any God, you see, but I was in a situation where I just said, oh thank God, oh my God, maybe I should say, thank Buddha, or otherwise. Anyway, now that you've heard the Buddhist concept on God, I'm sure you have lots of questions to ask. There are mics on the floor here. Okay, please use them. If you're too shy, I think the ushers here, they have little pieces of paper for you to pen your questions or your thoughts. You're most welcome. While waiting, I'd just like to say this. After this question and answer session, we will be inviting all the members of the Mahasangha, that is the monks here, up on stage to give their blessings. After the blessings, please be seated, don't go away, because I have some very interesting announcements, to make.
I directly mention what the Buddha has said. Mahayana schools developed later, they have incorporated some new concept. They are very meaningful, they are very useful. Let us take Bodhisattva or Avalokitesvara or Goddess of Mercy. They regard them as God. Therefore, they also cannot say they don't believe in God. They worship and pray to Avalokitesvara or Goddess of Mercy as a God. And Bodhisattvas also they worship as God. So this concept is there. They cannot get rid of this belief.
Okay, very well, sir. There's a question from a member of the audience. If there were no God, to whom do you pray and give thanks from a God-fearing Christian?
This Christian, we had to answer this from Buddhist point of view or? From Buddhist point of view, in my life, I have never prayed to anybody. Do you believe that? I use my effort, my knowledge, my understanding to do my work without expecting anything from heaven. There's a nice saying in Sanskrit language. Udyoginam Purusha Singha Mupaiti Lakshmi Daivena Daiva Mitika Purusha Vadanti Daivang Nihatya Kuru Paurushamatma Satya Yatne Krite Yadina Siddhati Kotra Dosa. I like this very much, this saying. Meaning is, those who believe in God, when they are in trouble, without using their effort and knowledge and understanding, they go on praying and praying and praying and worshipping and worshipping. I can give an example. This is not a very pleasant one. Please forgive me. A young couple, after their marriage, they were expecting a baby for 1 or 2 years, no news. But every day they go to church, they are Christian. Every day go and ask the priest, please pray, oh God, we want a child. Now these priests also got fed up with him. Then what he said, it seems you depend on God to have a baby. Why not you too also try it? Exactly like this. Instead of depending on God for everything, there are many things that we can do, we can find out, we can gain what we want. No need to depend on God for everything. Example. Now you believe in God. God will protect you and everything. You go away without closing your door. What guarantee is there? God will protect your house until you come back. That means you have neglected your duty. Whether God exists or not, you should not forget your duty. The Buddhism is like this. Buddhism says whether God exists or not, whether exists, no harm at all. But don't forget your duty because of God.
Okay, there's another question for you, Sir. Believing in God makes us humble. What makes a Buddhist humble?
Humble. Well, when you believe something, we surrender. When you surrender, we become humble.
Okay, there's another question for you, Venerable Sir. How does a Buddhist sustain his faith if he does not believe in God?
They can remain as a better Buddhist without depending on God by using his or her full effort and understanding, by observing precepts and principles and good qualities without depending on anybody. So he can remain as a better Buddhist.
Thank you. The next question. Members of the public, please use the microphone. If you have any questions to ask, please.
Venerable Doctor, can I ask you a question? From the Christian point of view, they always believe that is the end of the world. But does Buddhists think likewise?
My dear friends, why do you want to depend on religion, depend on God to understand that there will be an end to everything in this world? If there is anything to come into existence, yang kinci samudaya dhammam sabbantam nirodha dhammam. First sermon of the Buddha, he said, if there is anything that come into existence due to combinations of elements and energies, that will never remain forever without changing, without decaying, without disintegrating. The sun and the moons and the galaxies and the earth and anything that will exist are subjected to this. They appear, exist, change, decay, disintegrate. Again reappear due to dispersed particles. There are certain particles and energies never disappear. And again formation takes place. That is why the Buddha says, there is neither beginning nor an end. Bertrand Russell, I mentioned his name. He has written a book. He says, among the founders of all those religions, I respect only one man. He is the Buddha. Why should I respect? The founders of all the other religions, that is his language, not my language, made false statement about the beginning of this world. This world was created by so and so, such and such time. It shows how poor their understanding about the world. Buddha is the only man who never made such false statement. He knew what this world is. That is why he said there's neither beginning nor an end. Always they appear, disappear, appear, disappear. This is the nature of the universe.
Yeah, sir. So I have two questions to ask. The first question is about this attaining the Buddhahood, where the priorities is about purifying the mind, purifying the actions to attain nirvana. So at one time when persons get to attain the statehood of purification, like any of the monks that exist around the world, so are they considered attaining Buddhahood, and we can also classify them as Buddha? And my next question is...
No, one is enough. The answer is very simple, not at all. Becoming a Buddha is the most difficult task in this world. Now within this world cycle, from the very beginning up to this, only 4 Buddhas appear. Before the end of this world system, before this disintegrate, another Buddha will appear. He will be the last one within this world cycle. When the next world cycle starts again, Buddhas appear from time to time. There are 3 religions mentioned: Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism. Before the end of this world, Buddhism says another Buddha will appear. Christianity says second coming of Jesus before the end of this world. Hinduism says among the 10 incarnations of God, last incarnation appears before the end of this world. Only religion that never talk anything about another prophet or messenger or the Buddha is Islam. Only God, nothing but God, no any other God.
I would ask one clarification. The religion has 2-3 aspects. One is philosophy, equally psychological aspect. Second is the ritual, and third is our concept of God. Now, do you mean, apart from psychological aspect, on the emphasis of mind and mental state, and do we really get rid of rituals and all that? We better be a good man, a good moral man. Is that enough to become a Buddhist?
Yes, it's a good question. Philosophy is not religion. Philosophy is to get knowledge, nothing to practice. But in religion, we can find philosophy, psychology, and concept, belief in religion. Without concept, without belief, there is no religion. So, the Buddha's advice is, yes, philosophy alone cannot purify your mind. Psychology alone cannot purify. Belief alone cannot purify. You have to purify your mind by knowing the nature of your mind, introspect, mindfulness and watchfulness of the nature of mind. What are the things that disturbing your mind? All of us have greed, selfishness, anger, jealousy, grudge, ill will, enmity, self-cruelty, wickedness, ignorance. All of us. So we had to reduce one by one all these evil forces from the mind. Then we cultivate the kindness, sympathy, compassion, harmony, unity, patience, tolerance, wisdom, we cultivate. Now those things have no chance to cultivate because evil forces are dominating our mind. So religion is important to reduce those evil forces from the mind, to cultivate all the good thoughts. Then the final salvation we can find.
Yes, can you speak?
Sir, I have a question here. What actually is good karma? Is good karma like helping old lady across the road?
This party?
Or
Where are you?
is it the cultivation of mind?
Oh,
Okay, sir. So what actually is good karma? Is good karma helping old lady across the street, donating to the poor, or is it the cultivation of mind? And what actually is bad karma? Let's say, for example, if in my mind, I feel like hitting someone, but I did not do it because of some legal obligations. Okay, so is that considered bad karma? Do I have to hit the person?
Mind itself cannot create karma. Simply by thinking, I want to do that. But there are three things mind itself can create. But all the other activities, mind cannot create good karma or bad karma until we put into action with intention. Unintentionally, we may do a lot of bad things. We cannot create bad karma. Take for instance, when you drive a motor car, you may kill cats and dogs and so many other creatures on the way. They die because of you. But you did not create any bad karma because that intention is not in your mind. There's an action alone cannot create karma. The mind must go with that. Then there are good things as good karma. Mention about 8 of them as most important good karma. Dhanam, Silancha, Bhavana, Bhakti, Bhattanumodana, Vijayavaccha, Apajayana, Desana, Sutti, Ditti, you 8. 8 kind of good karma. They are very important for us to cultivate our religious way of life. Start with dana. Dana means giving, offering, donating, sacrificing something for the well-being of others. If you don't do that, you maintain selfishness, stinginess, and by disregarding others, you enjoy your life. But you have not accumulated enough good karma for you to spend in the next existence. As Buddhists, we believe this is not the first and the last. After this, whether we believe or not, whether we can understand or not, naturally existence again take place. Take for instance, birth is natural, sicknesses are natural, old age is natural, no need to believe. Death is natural, no need to believe. If anything happens after our death, that is also natural. Not according to God or the Buddha or religion, it is natural. Therefore, by knowing this, we have to prepare. Continue without suffering, without facing troubles and problems and difficulties. To avoid all these things, we have to do more and more good karma. Then we can continue our life without facing a lot of problems. Now, in this world, how many millions human beings starving, dying, without piece of clothes to wear, I have seen, without shelter, under the tree or the pavement or roadside, birth and death both, winter and rainy season, whole day and night, they had to live. Animals can live without shelter because they have skins and they protect the body, but we cannot. And no medicines when they suffer from sickness. From birth up to the death, life is nothing but suffering. Who created them to suffer like this? People believe God created all these living beings. If God created them, it is not His duty to provide them food and clothing and lodging and medicines and this and that. How can God keep quiet without creating them? A father, after producing few children, keep quiet without providing their food and necessary things, keep quiet. Therefore, we don't believe. This is the reason. Although they had the chance to become humans, they have not accumulated enough good karma to carry on, to maintain their life without suffering. That is why the good karmas are natural, very important. Punyani paralokasmin patitthavanti panina. Buddha's advice. After our death, there is nobody in this world who can support us. Only our own karma. If we have done some good karma, this good karma provide, support all our requisites for us to lead our life without suffering. Throughout life after life, we have to carry on. The Buddha's advice is, how long can you carry on like this? Is it not suffering? Where is the end of it? Therefore, you must try to find out the end of it. Then you will be free from all this suffering. That is called salvation.
Good evening. I'm so sorry.
Where are you?
I have to crawl there to come here to ask you a question because I definitely must not miss this opportunity. Otherwise, I don't know when I can ask this question. I'm a Buddhist. I believe in karma. But the thing is, there's one question which I'm wondering very much. There's a distant relative who is only 40 years old and he is suffering from cancer. Right now he's still in the hospital and his suffering is so terrible. I just want to know, is it that he has a lot of bad karma last life and that's why this life he has to suffer till his death? Because at the moment I still go and visit him very often And each time when I see the way he suffer, is there a ending to this karma, to this bad karma? Maybe last life he done a lot of bad things, so his karma has to put him in such a way to suffer till death. I think, it looks like he's going to die soon. So I pray to God. God means, Buddha. To ease his suffering. In a way that, if ask Buddha or Goddess of Mercy to have some mercy for him, if want to let him die, let him die fast, don't let him suffer like that. Because physically he's suffering a lot, and financially he's suffering a lot also, because right now the bill is going higher and higher every day, coming to about 20 to 30K, 26K, the latest figure I got. So thank you very much, Doctor.
Do you know, 8 months ago, I had prostate gland cancer. Doctor confirmed. They have taken all the X-ray and bone scanning and all those things, and it is very aggressive cancer in the prostate. He told me directly. When he told me, I laughed. Then this doctor is very funny. I have never met another patient when I mentioned that you are having cancer. You don't know what to do now. But in your case, you laugh. I really cannot understand. Then to console me, he told me, do you know, these are the problems that we had to face. Then I told him, Doctor, these are not problems. When we take things seriously into our mind, we create the problem. Otherwise, there are no problems in this world. Remember. Then what happened? He told me he wanted to treat me. Retreatment. Then I told him, please don't give me chemotherapy, because my hair may drop. He gave another kind of treatment for 6 months, every day. Then he told me, side effect. Everybody experience some sort of side effect. Either vomiting, burning, purging, and burning the skin. You had to face it. I said, all right. They have treated me 6 months. No side effect. Because I really cannot understand why you never had any side effect. I told him, I never get side effect, I get full effect. He asked me to go and take another bone scanning and what is that X-ray, MR, what is it? That one, and put into coffin and put in 35 minutes. Take X-ray and told me everything is clear. Within 6 months. They told me at least 1.5 years it will take to shrink. In my case, only 6 months. Now everything is clear. What is the cause? It is not karma. I never pray to any god. I never pray to Buddha. I did not reduce my confidence. I knew nothing will happen to me. I did not worry anything about it. Every day I went out, preaching, teaching, attending. Everybody called me, you can't you understand, you are sick. Never mind, if I can do, why do you worry? I did not neglect all my duties with confidence. Mental energy, confidence. The most important energy in this world. That one develop the immune system. When the mind we develop this energy, immune system support and support and support and cure the sickness. That is what the Buddha said, develop your faith and devotion and confidence. Then you can reduce and reduce and reduce your sickness. Praying and worshipping to God gives some consolation, to console our mind. Oh, I pray to God, I pray to Buddha, I pray to Bodhisattva, I think they support me. Then reduce fear and worry. Only for that purpose it is important. But to me that is praying and worshipping not important. Now I am free. Again, second part of the question. All our troubles and problems and sicknesses are not due to our bad karma, Buddha says. Only some of them are due to our bad karma. Due to our ignorance, our misbehavior, and changing our daily routine in our life, our food, our way of life, all these things contribute to create a lot of sicknesses, troubles and problems. Karma has nothing to do with it. See how practical Buddha has mentioned this.
The gentleman over there.
Yeah, good evening everyone, all in all. I'm not a Buddhist, but I'd like to ask you, as you say, it's a mind.
You are a Buddhist or you are not a Buddhist?
No, I'm not a Buddhist.
Okay.
But as I listen to your talk, it's everything about the mind, right? I just want to ask for your advice. How to overcome our weakness? I believe everyone here has a reason to be here to listen to your talk, and it's not easy sometimes for any weak person like me or anybody here to overcome. What's your advice?
I have written a book called Why Worry. Do you know how many people stopped committing suicide after reading this book? I met them not only in Malaysia, other countries also. America, Australia, Germany, and few couples who were separated due to misunderstanding. After reading this book, they have returned to me because of your book. Now we are living again as husband and wife. This book I have enlarged, now in the press. Lot of new worries there now in that book. Will be out on my birthday next month, not next month, this month, end of this month, my birthday. That book really helped. Those who have worries, come to our temple. I give on this book. After reading and reading and reading, he comes with smiling face, borrow or buy 10 to 15 books to give to his friends, Because there we point out where the mistake is. We create imagination about our problems and trouble, and we are the culprit. We have created the trouble, but we blame others, we complain others. We are not ready to admit that I am also responsible for these troubles and this problem. When you read this kind of book, you can understand. Then your understanding can reduce fear, worry, suspicions, anger, all sorts of things. This book will be out end of this month, enlarged edition.
Any more questions? Yes, please.
Hello. Good evening, Venerable Sir. I have two questions, but I'll get one at a time. Okay, the first question is, why do Buddhism associate premature death with bad karma? If one can live this world without having to suffer old age and its associated sickness, is it not a blessing in disguise? Also, when one dies young with less bad karma, wouldn't it be better for one's next rebirth?
Actually, in that question, there is no meaning. No meaning. You have mixed up and muddled up everything. Ask this question. These are natural occurrences. Whether they have religion, whether they have God, whether they have karma or not. Now let us take animals. They have no religion, no karma, no God, nothing. But the way how they suffer, many kinds of sicknesses and troubles and problems and enormous things. So these are natural occurrences. So religion is important for us to understand and to train mind. When these natural occurrences disturb us, how to tolerate and how to make up a mind, not to worry, not to develop fear, otherwise no point. That is why the Buddha has advised us. Don't develop your craving too much for this world. The more you live, the more you have to suffer. No one is free from sicknesses, old age, troubles, worries and disturbance, whether they are rich or poor, educated or not.
But to us,
Doctor, funeral?
You are more than a monk and more than a Buddhist and you're more than a doctor. We learn so much from you after hearing from you, from the question that all of us took on to you. I remember, you see, that we have not heard about, you have mentioned so many religions today, Hindu, Christianity, Muslim, but we have not heard from you about this Confucius and this Taoism and Buddhism, Confucius, Buddha, Taoist, all almost 2,500 years ago, almost of the same time. See? So people have asked questions that the Taoists pray to Buddha, but the Buddha don't pray to the Taoists.
What's that, Buddha?
They say in China, the founder of the Taoist religion, Taoist, they pray to Buddha. Buddha
lived 80 years before in India. 80 years before.
8 years. But the Buddha do not pray to the Taoist. And then the Confucius, really, I do not know whether Confucius is a religion or not. But the teaching of...
I think I can understand your question. I'm not joking. It's a very, very good question. I can understand. Please sit down. These two Chinese philosophy, not accepted as religions, even in China. Taoism and Jainism, Confucianism, Chinese culture, Chinese tradition, Chinese way of life, Chinese philosophy, everything is there. But they did not introduce these two as religions. That is why they had to go to India. 2000 years ago, they went to India. They asked two questions from Confucius. Is it true whether there will be another life after our death. Confucius said, still we have not learned what this life is. How do we know whether there will be another life? Second question. Is there anything that we can do for our departed ones? Confucius said, still we have not learned to fulfill our duties towards the living one. So what can we do for the dead one? But they could not satisfy with this answer. That is why they decided to go to India, having heard there is a religion called Buddhism. They stayed for many years, studied languages, Buddhism, collected all the important religious materials. Then they noticed very carefully 3 existing religions in India at that time. Brahmanism, today known as Hinduism. Jainism, extremist, that religion also still exists in India. And Buddhism. These 3 religions. These Chinese, they watch very carefully how they practice these 3 religions. Then they notice to practice Hinduism or Jainism, they had to follow Indian tradition, Indian customs, Indian way of life. Otherwise they cannot practice those religions. But to practice Buddhism, it is not necessary for Chinese to become Indians. They can remain as Chinese. They can respect their Chinese culture. They can practice Buddhism as a religion. Without any difficulties, they introduced Buddhism in China because of that. Therefore, these 2 are great thinkers, philosophers, psychologists, and all the great qualities were there. But they are not enlightened religious teachers like the Buddha. We respect them. We quote their beautiful saying in our publications also. They are not religions.
We just have one last question, sorry.
Now 10, start at 8.
Thank you very much, Venerable Dr. Dhammananda, for this beautiful talk that you've given us. First one is a comment. That is, you believe, you said that Buddha left and 550 million followed him. But at the end of it, I believe the wife too became a bhikkhu, a follower of Buddha, as well as the son. My question, that's a comment, and my question now is, good karma, thinking of good things, is that enough? Or doing action? Or do you have to do both? Which is more important? Because you cannot do everything that you think. Thank you.
I cannot understand your question.
Venerable Sir, you mentioned good karma.
Yeah.
That's right. So it is at the end of it the control of the mind.
Yeah.
Therefore, thinking good, is that good enough? Or to do good? Or do you have to do both?
Thinking good is only one item.
Thank you.
Thinking good, one item. Talking gently, politely, second item. Do things perfectly, third item. And then completed.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful talk and also your answers. I think all of you are captivated by the answers, and there seems to be more and more questions, but unfortunately due to constraints of time, we just cannot pose another more another one more question. But if you really feel that you want your questions to be answered, please come to SBM tomorrow. The Chief Reverend will be there at 2 p.m. He'll be giving a talk. Come early because there's not enough, it's not a very big temple, so do come early. Okay, please be seated. I will now be inviting the Reverend up here to give you blessings. And then after that, I will make some important announcements. Reverend, this way up.
Actually, many of you do not know what these monks are going to do now. They are not going to dance. It is not a joke. When the monks develop their kindness, compassion, sympathy for your well-being, for your good health, for your happiness, this mental energy, while reciting, they transmit, radiate. Again, in your case, you develop devotion, confidence, understanding, and pay attention by controlling your mind. When you pay attention, during that time, evil thought had no chance to appear in your mind. Mind is completely pure. When you pay attention with mindfully. It is very difficult for us to maintain our mind for 1 minute without allowing any of our evil thoughts to appear in the mind. Therefore, when we radiate our mental energy with sound vibration, this sound vibration, what we recite, are the words that come out from the Buddha's mouth, not our own. That is why we do not use another language. The word, the language used by the Buddha, we repeat. It is mentioned, the Buddha was the only human beings in this world who lived without telling a lie in his whole lifetime. Today you have 6 billion human beings. Can you find out one human being never tell a lie? The Buddha did that. Therefore the words that come out from that holy mouth, for the last 2,500 years, all over the world, people benefited, get chance to what you call their sicknesses, troubles and worries. 1979, I went to London. Secretary General of the Parliament Society was very sick. He requested few monks to go there and do some chanting because he knows the Pali language very well. They translate the Pali teaching of the Buddha into English. So when we went there, he was lying down, cannot talk, you have no strength, few words, but he requested us to recite 7 Bhujanga Sutras. They know the names and the meaning of every word of these sutras. I like to listen 7 Bhujanga Sutras. So we recited for nearly half an hour. Believe me, when we ended our chanting, he got up, sat down. I never had this relief in my life for a long time. He was so happy. At that time they were collecting money to build London Buddhist Vihara. he asked to bring the checkbook and asked to write 10,000 pounds donation to London Buddhist Vihara. The happiness that he gained, the immediate effect that he experienced after paying attention. So it's more psychological. We radiate sound vibrations, mental vibration. You attune your mind with devotion, confidence, understanding, with pure mind. Because in your mind, no chance to create any evil thought in your mind. It's a very important occasion. So now we are going to recite few sutras, chanting for your well-being, for your good health, for your happiness. Whatever religion you believe, we are all human beings. Therefore don't bother about religion. 3 days ago, Archbishop Sotapanandas came to my room. Please bless me. I always say, may the Buddhist God bless you. He was so happy and he blessed me. So, forget about religious labels. Think we are human beings. Then we can reduce our discrimination, superiority complex, all this discrimination. Pay attention. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Iti piso bhagavāraham samma sambuddho vijjācarana Sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhammasarati deva manussanam buddho svakhato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko ehipassiko pranayiko vacchakam vedi dhammo Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Supatipanno Nyāya patipanno bhagavato sāvaka Svāmīti patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yadidam chattari purisa yugāni atta purisa Esa bhagavato Sangho Avniyo Avniyo Dakhineyo Anjali Anuttaram Punyam Ketam Lokasami Etena Satya Vajjena Padutam Rata Etena Satya Vajjena Padutam Rata Etena Satya Vajjena Padutam Rata Sabbitiyo Vivajjantu sabbarogo Mate Bhavatvantarāyo Sukhi Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba sabba buddhanubhavena sadāsati Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sadāsati Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sadāsati bhavantu te. Good health and peace of life to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Kirinde, on the 23rd of March, Sunday at 7:30 p.m. at Pokaksi presence, and all those who have helped in one way or another to make tonight's talk a very successful one. And also, I must not forget to thank all the Sisters of Dhammananda Welfare Friendly Society for really volunteering to help us tonight. And also you, ladies and gentlemen, for your presence here too. So good night, see you again, may you all be well and happy. Just another information, Chief Reverend will be at Mangala Vihara in the morning, then in the afternoon he will be at SBN. Thank you.